You know, I so there's some magnets on the board. And I look at what happened tonight, and I'm going to say this. Did the Leafs come out and play well enough to win? Absolutely not. Does the blame go on the players? Yes. Does the blame also go on the general manager? Yes. So the question, and I was having this discussion on Twitter, and I decided, all right, I gotta watch the Bruins game and get on that and keep an eye on that. So I'm gonna just do the video, and then anybody who's debating me on Twitter, if they want to continue that here, fine, sure, cool. Because a general manager does have some responsibility for how the team that he puts together plays on the ice. And even if you say, well, they didn't show up and it wasn't his fault, okay, so we can say that about every general manager in the league. Because legit, that's what happens. The teams that aren't put together to win in the playoffs don't win in the playoffs. The Leafs are not put together to win in the playoffs. I have, for years, said, it's all overblown. They haven't really choked. This is it. This is the absolute most epic choke I think I've ever watched. And I watched the Bruins lose a 3-0 series lead against Philly. That... No. And I watched Vancouver choke away that series 3-1 over Minnesota. Now, this is worse. The Montreal Canadiens came out tonight and they played a game that showed they wanted to win. And Toronto, the defeat was in their eyes in the second period. This isn't a team that came out in the second and there was no swagger. There was just a lot of the shots. Well, they were great saves. A lot of them were at the goaltender. You're supposed to go around the goaltender. So it's the first Game 7 between these teams since 1964, right? First chance goes to the Habs. Doesn't end up hitting the net. Marner had a shot that was stopped. No Game 7 wins ever for Spezza. It's one of those interesting things. I thought I'd throw that on the board when they mentioned it. And here we are. Still no Game 7 wins for Spezza. And we'll talk about that because I need to go into some detail with this that I haven't on any other eliminations thus far. Because it's frustrating to me to watch, and I'm not even a Leafs fan. So the shots were 3-0 for the Leafs at 3 minutes. Yeah, they came out well. They were playing well. Hyman had a net drive defended by Danault. Props to Danault. Absolutely great defensive game for Danault. I don't think he had a point tonight. He had an assist. But honestly, great defensive game by Danault. He frustrated Matthews, which is what you are supposed to do. He beat him more than 50% of the time in the faceoff circle. Kotkaniemi couldn't bury one. The Habs defense was pinching early as well. Suzuki fires one high. The Leafs would press, but the Habs were keeping them to the outside. Evans fires one wide. Short shifts by both teams. This is their 7th game in a short period of time. I think it's 12 days. So, yeah, they're tired. And the winner of this game, Montreal, now moves on and plays Winnipeg, as I expected, on Wednesday. Habs press. Hyman would clear it. The shots were 5 apiece at 11 minutes. So Montreal had started to turn the tide while it's still scoreless. But you could see Montreal was picking up as this game went along. First goal in Game 7. Since 1990, the winner 100 times, the loser 27 times. So you're better off scoring first. This game wasn't really any exception to that. The Habs had a 2-on-1. Anderson mishandled it there. There was a home run pass to Nylander, which doesn't connect. Looks like another low-scoring game. And it was, but again, this was some good defense by both teams until one of them just sort of stopped doing that. Galchenyuk had a shot blocked by Gallagher. The Habs press with 5 minutes left. Marner gets flung to the ice. Suzuki ends up getting a shot after that. Both defenses were blocking out well. In the last minute, there were some chances for the Habs, but there was very little getting to the net. There were very little in terms of shots that it looked like Campbell was having a hard time with. In the last moments, Marner fires one wide. So we go to the second period. No shot attempts in the first period by Austin Matthews. So while I've seen people already like, we need to trade Marner, Matthews didn't have a shot attempt in the first period. Attempt. Not a shot. An attempt. Meaning, it's only Game 7. You've got fans. You're at home. It's the first time they've been in front of a crowd in Toronto since March of last year. So the shots were favoring the Habs due to the strong defensive play. Marner then was guilty of a turnover. He was. And it ends up in the back of his net. Gallagher from Stahl at 3:02. So Marner with the turnover, and it was a 5-hole goal. So that's a double ouchie if you're Toronto right off the bat. Marner coughs it up, and Campbell, a savable puck, it goes in the net. That's a double whammy you don't want. But it's at home. You look for that answer. You look for that answer from Toronto, and it never really happened. So Price robbed Hyman after when Marner got a pass out there. Good pass by Marner. Good shot by Hyman. Marner trying to make up for that gaffe of his. Dermott then guilty of a turnover. Campbell had to make a save there. Hyman blocks a chance for Brody. Notice that they both play for the Leafs. Hyman was then denied again. Price was definitely in theft mode there. Sandin tips one wide. I don't think Sandin had a shot on net. If he did, he had one. I went through the stats after this game. The Habs were smothering the Leafs forwards, giving them no room out there. And again, fantastic defensive game by Montreal. Sherratt kept getting dinged up, stayed in the game, but I have a funny feeling he's got an ice pack or two on him right about now. Sherratt showed in this series why I like Sherratt. I know he makes mistakes. I know he can, if he plays too much, he'll get exposed. But when he's not playing too much, he can be pretty useful. And he gives them a sort of a sandpaper quality Toronto just didn't have tonight. There was a near miss by Anderson on a turnover. So Josh Anderson had a couple near misses there. Stahl then took down Dermott, and there was no call. And I know that Sheldon Keefe was upset about that. He felt it should have been a call. I thought it was 50-50. I thought, all right, if they're going to let that go, hope it's both ways. And it wasn't. I will admit that. Shots were 4 apiece with 9 minutes left. Need I remind people, in 11 minutes of Game 7 at home in second period, Toronto has 4 shots. 4 shots. This is not a difficult game for Carey Price. This is not a game where Price is being tested really, really big. Like they're letting him gain more confidence and get more relaxed and comfortable in there. The only way that you're going to beat Price is get a ton of shots. You have to get 2-on-1s. You have to get 3-on-2s. The last couple of years when Montreal's absolutely tanked their way out of playoffs, or when in the playoffs they've fallen out, it's usually been 2-on-1s and 3-on-2s against that have made them look bad. And it'll end up affecting Price's stats too, because all those odd man rushes, they're dangerous goals. I didn't see that tonight. I didn't see it. And it's a testament to the defense by the Habs, but just that fight. You want to see the guys fighting through that. I didn't get the feeling they were fighting through it. So, post then for Matthews, the Leafs desperately need one. The Leafs press with 6.5 minutes left, but the Habs cleared it, and the Leafs weren't getting shots. They weren't getting shots during that pressure. Matthews, no puck luck for him. Habs get the game's first power play, and I put, oh boy, Keefe is unhappy, because it was a very similar call to the one that they didn't call earlier. But again, then you got to kill that off. You've got to say, all right, guys, we've got to go out there. We've got to kill this off. We're not going to go down 2-0. They go down 2-0. It's Corey Perry from Suzuki and Gustafsson at 15:25. And that crowd is so quiet. This is so... You've got people in attendance for the first time in a year and 2 months. They want to cheer. They want to scream. They want to they really want to see the Toronto Maple Leafs not choke away a 3-1 series lead. You gave them absolutely nothing to cheer for. Nothing. Again, there wasn't the 3-on-2s. There's no 2-on-1s, 3-on-2s on this board. There just wasn't. And again, kudos to Montreal. I'm not trying to take anything away from Montreal for what they did tonight. They did what they had to do to win. They played the trap from the start till the end. Modern day trap. It's not the same as the one in the 90s, but it is a modified version of the trap. And it's impressive when a team does it well. So, yeah, and then Anderson had a net drive turned aside. Bogosian had a point shot that was blocked. Campbell then a glove save on Petrie. And man, you could just hear the crowds gasp when that puck is saved. Like, they know that goes in, that Petrie shot goes in, it's curtains. Although at 2-0, it already looked like it probably was. There were late chances for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Nothing too dangerous. And then Armia takes a penalty at 19:59. You have the entire second intermission to plan your power play for the third period. Hyman chance was stopped. Habs killed it off. And as soon as that happened, I wrote Habs win 4-3. Also, interesting note, I put up here that the Leafs were 2-14, scoring 2 or less in the playoffs since 2017. I wrote that during the second period when it was 2-0. I was like, they're not getting more than 2 goals on Price, and they're not winning this game. So I put right there, 2-14. It's not going to happen. And it's not, oh, he jinxed it. There have been things I've written on this board that I've had to erase off this board. Not necessarily this one, but in boards this year. I knew I wasn't going to need to erase that. And I wanted to. I wanted the Leafs to win this tonight. I really wanted that narrative to change. And again, it sort of feels like you're watching the Titanic and you're like, damn it hit the iceberg again. Every time I watch this movie, it just... And somebody's sitting next to you going, moron. So, that makes... I'm the guy. I don't even cheer for the Leafs. I don't get it. The Leafs weren't getting through the neutral zone. None. Crowd so quiet at this point. Foligno had a chance, kind of stifled out. The shots were 5-1 for the Leafs at 6 minutes. I don't know how many of those are high danger. Doesn't matter. I'm sure that in expected goals for, the Leafs won this series in 4 games. And I'm sure that was fantastic. But you need to start seeing some actual results here. Armia fires one high. The Habs were still giving no space. Great defense so far. Matthews gets a fast break. Goes over to Hyman. Hyman's denied again. Some Leafs pressure on a Sherratt turnover. Stahl was aggravating the Leafs, who really, he was kind of the guy that they were mad at. Not that it mattered. So this is where I'll mention the Dubas thing again. Yes, it's on the players to perform, but it is on the general manager to put a roster on the ice, which doesn't rely on just 3 guys to get the goals, which shouldn't have Zach Hyman as their best forward in a Game 7. We'll talk about it. We will talk about it. Price then denies Nylander. Hyman had his 5th shot. That was stopped as well. The Habs would kill it off. 3 shots on the power play for the Leafs because Weber took a penalty. So it didn't matter. Doesn't matter. I can just skip all that. Doesn't matter. The Habs cleared it out after. Campbell then saves a chance for Armia. Simple clears by the Habs. Simple. Just clear it out, dump it in, clear it out, dump it in. Just really rinse and repeat. Dominic Ducharme coaching these guys very well. Kerfoot drives one to the net. Price makes the save. Goalie pull with 3.5 minutes left. Hyman gets denied again on his 6th and final shot of the game, and then Toffoli hits the empty net from Stahl and Danault at 17:22. And they showed Dubas. He's, of course, wearing the mask and all that, and I'm guessing he was swearing underneath it. They pull the goalie again. They score this time. It's Nylander from Matthews and Spets at 18:24. And then the Leafs pull the goalie again. They press 6-on-5. The Habs cleared it a couple of times. They're off to Winnipeg. The Habs win 3-1. There's the It's a Trap magnet. Should have had that up there right from Game 4 on because, man. Shots 12-8 Montreal in the first, 6 apiece in the second period, and then Toronto outshoots them 16-5 in the third. Final shots 30-23 for Toronto. Power plays, Montreal goes 1 for 1. Toronto 0 for 2. That power play, nope. Hits 32-30 for Toronto. Block shots 13-8 for Montreal. Price saves 29 out of 30. He looked great. Campbell saves 20 out of 22. So Zach Hyman had 6 shots tonight. Played very well. Simmons, no shots. 3 hits, 12 minutes and 19 seconds. Foligno, 1 shot, 11 minutes and 45 seconds. Galchenyuk, 1 shot, 10 minutes, 35 seconds. Joe Thornton, 1 shot, 9 minutes and 17 seconds of ice time. That's the depth that's been added by the general manager, and it's not good enough. And that's what I'm talking about. I didn't even put Kerfoot up there, but his numbers tonight weren't great either. This is where I say, hey, so a lot of this is going to fall on Matthews and Marner and all of this, and the Tavares injury absolutely makes a difference here. But when you look at it, Matthews, $11.64 million cap hit. Till 2024, he gets 1 assist, 2 shots, and he's a -1. Tavares, of course, doesn't play. $11 million there. He is there until 2025. Marner, $10.903 million cap hit. Till 2025, he had 2 shots and was a -1. Nylander, $6.9 million cap hit until 2024. He was the best of the 4. If I had Hyman up there, but Hyman doesn't get paid as much, which I'm sure when he sits down with Kyle Dubas after the season, he's going to go, seriously? So, yeah, 1 goal, 2 shots, and he was even on the night. Nylander was the best of the 4. And yet, if they decide to trade one of the 4, Nylander might be the one that goes. Anderson, a $5 million goaltender who's a UFA this summer, and he was the backup. So that's a lot of cap space, about half of their cap space on the entire team, and you get 6 shots out of it. 1 guy's injured, and 1 guy's on the bench as the backup goaltender. It's going to be a long off season for Toronto, and again, you have to fix this. You have to fix this, and I'm not sure how you fix it. It is not an enviable job. Toronto during the regular season, yeah, they look great. They're not built for the playoffs. This is not a team that's built for the playoffs. And you can say, well, they look great through 4 games. So did the Canucks against Minnesota after 4 games. So did the Bruins against Philadelphia after 3 games. And then the rest of the series happens. So to argue, well, we barely lost more than 50% of the games, it's a weak argument. Doesn't work. For Montreal, it's off to Winnipeg. And for Toronto, it's back to the drawing board. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. As always, don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I'll talk to you again soon.